guys, welcome. Thank you very much for coming to my stream last night and trusting me as your psychic and as your reader. We're gonna be looking into your soulmates just like last night, and I appreciate your patience and understanding since I got a little bit sleepy last night, but that's okay. We're gonna do your reading here and without distractions, so I hope that it's a good experience. Thank you so much, and your timestamps are in the description below. I'll see you there. Love you. Hi there, Percy. How you doing? Thank you for trusting me as your psychic and as your reader. I hope that you like it. You said, I'm very curious for soulmate reading. Thank you. Of course. As I mentioned last night, I am going to be pulling for who they are and how we meet them. Just know future can change. You know, we have free will. I personally think it's the most likely outcome. And yeah, I hope that it's a positive experience. Thank you for coming in. Okay. All right, what do we got? Ooh, Judgment card. So this is their energy. Oh, I really like this. I really like, so this is how you perceive, like this is how they feel when you meet them, right? Like this is who they are when you guys are just starting dating, right? Just meeting. We have the Judgment card, and the Judgment card is about an epiphany moment. It's also a message from the beyond. Their aura is going to be very intense for you. And the reason why is because both of you have so much in common with each other. The Ten of Cups is here. This is soul family. This is an energy of emotional fulfillment, right? It's the happy family card. And then we have the Knight of Swords as well. Very communicative, very straightforward. This is somebody who says it with their chest. I feel very strongly that they have. Okay, you know what? I might be wrong, but I feel like their hair might be a little curly. Like I don't know why I'm seeing like curls, not necessarily ringlets, but definitely very bouncy hair. I know it's so specific, but I was seeing curly hair in my mind, and so I was like, okay, I should probably say that. But the Knight of Swords is here, and this says to me that they have a very, very wonderful voice. They're very smart. They love to speak, okay? They're gonna be very, very, very talkative, and I feel that they have a way with words. Are they very romantic? I think they're playing it slow in terms of like making it super romantic and like sexual and stuff like that. It feels to me that they just have a lot in common with you, and they enjoy speaking to you when you meet them. So, you know, look out for kind of a bouncy hair, very like a full head of hair. I know that's so specific, but also, yeah, I was seeing somebody who loves speaking, and they have a very lovely voice. They're very good at telling stories too. They might get a little loud. I don't know if you like that in a person. I feel like they're just a little loud. It's kind of endearing though. You know, yeah, they're just a little bit loud, but that's okay. Not all the time, just when they're super passionate. I don't think that they're mean or anything. You know, the Ten of Cups is here. This is emotional fulfillment. As I said, you feel very comfortable, very safe in their energy and in their presence. Now, in terms of how you meet, we do have the Two of Swords. We have the Eight of Swords and the Death card. Spirit is saying to me that how you meet is a little bit open-ended, because there are some karmic things that we need to experience. And the reason I say this is because we have the Eight of Swords, and this means feeling trapped. This means feeling alone. You know, this is an energy of misinformation, confusing energy as well. But it also means self-imposed restrictions. And so to me, I was very drawn to the energy of restriction. Like we have some things to learn before we can unlock meeting them, or before we get like it's like we have some levels to do. That's what Spirit's saying to me. It feels like we have two very important soul lessons before we meet this person, and that's okay. You know, the Death card is here, and you know who I'm seeing in my head? Do you know the guy? I mean, it's okay. I don't know what, like, if you're attracted to men or women, I don't like to assume, but they have kind of like this rocker energy, but they're so sweet. Like, they're not To be honest, I think they're a little nerdy. But they're not, you know, they don't have an inflated ego or anything like that. They're just a very passionate person. Anyways, the death card says that we have some changes to go through. We have some maturation to do, and so do they. You know, so do they. And the Two of Swords is here as well, and this represents making a decision, doing what feels right before you have all of the information available to you, right? It's like, oh, I know I need to do this, but I don't really know how or why, but I know it needs to be done. And so just keep living life. You'll run into them. When I said it was open-ended, I more so mean that, yeah, I'm seeing like a couple different ways that you could meet them. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but that's what I'm seeing. Because I can't. Sometimes when I do a soulmate reading, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. This is how you meet. This is who they are. It's very specific. But other times, you know, a handful of times, I'll see that we just either A, not supposed to know, or B, there's just too many ways that it could happen because we're still kind of going through important seasons in our life. So that's what I see. I will say, after 2 major life events, that is something I could say very strongly. After 2 major life events, and the death card means you'll be a completely different person. Okay, I hope that you like that, Percy. Thank you very, very much. Good luck with everything you are endeavoring, and remember that you're never alone and you are loved. See you later. Hey there, Nikky. Thank you so much for getting a reading from me last night. I apologize for having to end. I got really tired and I had a bunch of work to do, but you know what? We're here now. We're here now. Thank you for trusting me. Remember, future can always change, but I do think it's the most likely outcome. I always feel pretty good about the who they are, but it's just like how we meet. It's been a little bit open-ended sometimes. Sometimes it's like super, oh yeah, that's how it is. And other times it's like, you know, here's some life events you need to go through, but how exactly? A little bit. I've been seeing like 2 to 3 outcomes for those. Anyways, sorry. Thank you so much for my 1-year tarot reading. Oh, you're very welcome. It has inspired me to go back to therapy and work on my confidence. I love that. I am in a relationship and curious if he is my soulmate. Yeah. Oh, yes. Let's see if we describe them. We're gonna do that. Congratulations! I have a Valentine's Day date and we'll see how that goes. I could be amongst the lucky. And sorry about the airplanes behind me. Okay. Alright, what do we got for you, Nikky? Ooh, temperance. Very patient. Wow. Okay. I'll say this. They have a deep respect for femininity. And I say this because over and over again in their life, they have found that women have been the ones that have healed them, that have loved them, that have cherished them. And I say this because the Nine of Swords represents stress, anxiety, worry. And the Queen of Cups represents someone who's very healing and nurturing. So they're very in touch with their femininity. They very much respect women. Temperance is here too. This is patience, this is balance. And this is really nice because, you know, they're not too feminine. This is harmony, right? They're not so feminine that they don't, you know, I don't know how to explain. They're not super duper feminine. They're very balanced, you know? Almost, I don't want to say androgynous, though temperance is the angel card, so they could be. But in my opinion, they just, emotionally speaking, they really get it. They really, really get it. I bet your friends say, oh, I love him. You know, how'd you get him? And now we have the Knight of Swords as well calling out to me saying that when we met, they may have been an anxious mess. I do think that they're worried about you, if I'm honest. You know, I think that they're holding you in their heart. I kind of feel like you're this Queen of Cups too, that you have really rubbed off on them. But the temperance is patience, harmony, balance, as I was saying. But it's also Sagittarius energy. They don't have to be a Sagittarius. I will say this. The energy of Sagittarius usually means that they're usually down to kind of go with anything, you know, pretty relaxed person. because it's a mutable sign. So you may find that whatever you kind of throw their way, they're like, okay, we can make that work. So really adaptable energy. Now, how we meet, we have the King of Cups, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and the Princess of Swords. I love this! Oh my goodness. So King of Cups, I feel, is your energy in this scenario, and they're the Queen of Pentacles, and so obviously, you know, it's energy, not gender. So, but the King of Cups is someone who is very kind and warm and empathetic. And I was feeling that I really rubbed off on them, especially their heart energy. And so the King of Cups is saying to me that, wow, they listen to me. Wow, they understand me. Wow, you know, we're not so different after all. And so the Queen of Pentacles is here. And the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who is, once again, this relaxed energy is here, very present. I really do feel like this is them. And the Princess of Swords is here. The Princess of Swords represents asking questions. And so I feel like you just, I don't know, I can't say exactly how you met. You know, I'm not really seeing the specifics, but I can tell you that they loved you and felt safe with you from the start. Especially the way that you listened, especially the way that you were warm and understanding. I could also tell that they were very intrigued by who you were and wanted to get to know you more. I'm kind of getting like the question game. I'm getting the question game. Let's see what we got. Let's see what the soul card we get for this. But if you're with somebody, you know, and you love them so much, just trust they're your soulmate. You know, some soulmates come in different ways. I personally think we have around 2 to 3. Sometimes we run into them and sometimes we don't. And sometimes we run into all of them. And that's okay. Okay. All right. Messenger, bring harm. Ah! That's just what I was saying. Are they your soulmate? Absolutely. Absolutely. Both of you balance each other, complement each other, fuel each other, give peace to each other, you know, always trying to see the best in each other. Very understanding, very earth-water energy, very earth-water energy. Bringing harmony and balance. It's so funny. This card and these cards, all in one. Maybe you met a student. You know, the Princess of Swords does represent being a student. So you could have met like in school, but it's also being fresh and new at something. So it could have been at work, but it doesn't have to, you know. I just feel like we had questions. Very inquisitive, very inquisitive. Like, I want to learn more. Okay, that's what I see there. I wanna, I feel like that was a little, not very particular, was it? And so I'm gonna draw a little bit more into this. Sphere, can you tell me a little bit more about how we met? Thank you very much. And thank you to my guides and Nikky guides. Nikky's guides. What do we got there? Temperance came up again. It's been so long. The Hermit card and the 5 of Swords. Ooh. Usually when I draw the Hermit, it means like we were long distance. It also can mean that we met online. It can mean that we didn't get to see each other for good chunks of our relationship. That's usually what the Hermit represents. But the 5 of Swords is here, and this is about healing emotional trauma and also like kind of brain chemistry stuff. You know, the 5 of Swords is I'm mentally unwell because of either verbal abuse or some sort of manipulation of understanding. But once again, harmony and balance came out 3 times for you, which is wild, and I really like that. Okay, that's what I see for you, Nikky. I hope that you like that. Thank you so much. Good luck with everything you are endeavoring, and remember that you're never alone and you are loved. See you later. Hi there, Cielo. Thank you so much for getting a reading from me. We're into your soulmate reading. I feel like I should be wearing the red. What am I doing? What am I doing? I gotta wear the red. You said hello again, Ron. I love a soulmate reading. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. Let's let's see what we got. We're gonna pull for who they are and the context of how you meet. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Oh, interesting. I will say this, when you meet them, they're gonna be a little bit stuck in the past, and I feel that they're either, yeah, I really think they're going through a really bad breakup. Like, I'm saying really bad, and I'm saying this because we have the Six of Cups, and this is about someone who doesn't let go of the past. And we have the Three of Swords, and this is sadness, heartbreak, you know, that kind of energy. But the good news is that the Eight of Wands is here, and this is speed, action, and quick change. They are very, very quickly going to get over this. Who knew that the medicine to their heartbreak was their soulmate? You know what I mean? I feel that they've just been, yeah, I don't think that they're a bad person. It's just when you meet them, they've really been through the ringer emotionally. I think that they've just had really bad relationships. Now, how do you meet them? It will be in a very different experience than where you are now. I mean, really different. I feel like you'll live somewhere different. You'll look different. You might be into different things. And I say that because we have two cards that represent a change and then a completion of a cycle. So the Death card represents transformation, rebirth. It represents yeah, like change, very, very grand change. And the World card is, yes, like we have learned so much, and we have learned to move on, and we've learned to make peace and get settled. And the Queen of Pentacles is here, and this is feeling very comfortable and very warm with where you are. If I'm very honest with you, Cielo, I feel that you may have moved to somewhere that you love, and you're there for a few years before you meet this person. You know, that's how Spirit is speaking it to me. I'm seeing you much more mature. So I don't know how old you are, Cielo. I don't know if you're, you know, in your 20s, but it does seem to be like in, you know, around your 30s. And it's okay if you don't like that. You know, I always tell people it can change. I understand that, you know, being a bit older can be not so fun. So I'm seeing like late 20s to 30s. So when I say late 20s, I'm talking like 28, 29, not 27. When I see it in my heart. So the Queen of Pentacles is you feeling very settled, very safe, and very warm. And you've built a community for yourself. You have built connections. You have a good job. And I feel that you are in the perfect place for your soulmate to really fall into you safely. And I don't think that the relationship is, you know, romantic and sexual right off the bat. But oh my goodness, does this energy really help them so much. And I want you to know that the healing that you provide for them is so important for their soul. And I feel that both of you chose for it to be this way. I feel very, very strongly about that. Okay, yeah, I'm not quite seeing anything else. I do, yeah, it does feel like they've been hurt. Let's pull a little bit more. I feel bad leaving it there. Spirit, will you give us the energy of... Yeah, tell us, is it because they went through a breakup? Like, what happened? That's what it seems like to me, personally. I think they'll even open up, like, I'm seeing them open up to you about what happened. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Look, we even have the Justice card, truth. Finding the truth about things, getting what you deserve as well. You are a blessing. Oh my goodness. You know, the Three of Pentacles is working together and healthy collaborations. The Emperor card is here. And, you know, I asked if it was a breakup. I really do think it is. You know, it might even be, this is a little extreme, but it might even be a divorce just because we have Justice here at the bottom. But just know, like, gosh, your energy is so healing. Yeah, dude, the Devil card. So that's what I see, Cielo. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you enjoyed that. Thank you again for choosing me as your reader and as your psychic. I hope that was a good experience, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. See you later. Why, hello there, scrollrackMTG. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming to my stream last night. I hope that it's worth the wait, as I always like to say. And we're gonna be looking to your soulmate. Let's see if you wrote anything. Let me see. Let's look in the private section. So career reading is what I'm doing now, and when I'm supposed to, or am I supposed to go? Ah, you would like a career reading, not a soulmate reading. I see. Yeah, we were doing specifically soulmate readings last night, but I understand. I can do a little career reading for you. Thank you for choosing me as your psychic and as your reader. Okay. Is what I'm doing supposed to be doing, or am I supposed to go on to bigger and better things? I would say yes. You know, if you feel like you could be more, have more, do more, be more, respect that desire and go for it. But let's see what Spirit has to say. What does Spirit have to say about what you're doing now? Ooh, nice. Ooh, 4 swords, the Strength card. Yeah, dude. It's exactly what I said. The 4 cups is about wanting more. This is an energy. In this deck, I will say, it does represent peace and calm. It represents opening up, you know, aligning your chakras, meditation, that kind of stuff. But in traditional tarot, the 4 cups means I want more. I want more passion. I want more money. I want more excitement. I want more joy. I want more creativity. I want more. I'm bored. I'm not satisfied. But the Strength card is here, and this is an energy of feeling very confident, feeling ferocious even. If you've been feeling frustrated, right? This is what the Strength card tells us, that our frustration, our anger, our fury, even anything, our irritation, all of these energies are supposed to tell us something. And that message is that you deserve better, you deserve more, you can be so much more, and you shouldn't settle for less than what you love. Now, the 6 of Wands is here, and this is why I said, like, yeah, if you feel you can reach it, do it. The 6 of Wands is reaching for the stars and being successful. So, let's see. What does Spirit want you to know about your journey? What's incoming for you? What's incoming for scrollrackMTG? I keep saying J, sorry, MTG. Ooh. A lot of busy work. There's a lot to do. There's so much to do. I love how when that pops out. So much to do. I feel like you have a lot on your plate. You might be working days and nights. The 8 of Swords. We also have the Prince of Swords too. Yeah, I can see why you want to leave. You're busy and you're tired and you're not making nearly enough. You know, the 8 of Swords is self-imposed restrictions, isolation, feeling blocked. But the thing about the 8 of Swords is it's all us. Like, we are our greatest enemy. And so in the future, I do see you doing a lot of research on what could I do with the skills I have, or what's a new business venture I can do that can open me up more, that kind of stuff. What's challenging you is planning. Make sure that when you make plans, you stick to it, okay? You're very smart. You can figure this out. Take accountability for how you're holding yourself back. And your advice card for Spirit is to go forward, go beyond. It's time for something new. It's time for something exciting. Okay, that's what I have, scrollrackMTG. Thank you very much. Good luck with everything you are endeavoring. And remember that you're never alone and you are loved. See you later. Bye-bye. Hi there! I'm so sorry if I don't say your name right. Hadiyah? Thank you for trusting me with your reading. I hope that it's a positive experience. Remember, when it comes to the future, it's not set in stone. You do have free will, so if you see something you don't like, you don't have to accept it. And I believe you. I'm gonna see. Let's see if you wrote anything in the private section. Nope. Okay, I'm gonna assume you came for the soulmate reading then. I had a few people just ask me a different question, but let's see who your soulmate is at the top and then how you meet them. What do we got? What do we got? What is Spirit willing to uncover to us? All right, what do we have? Let's see. Oh, this is who they are. Very, very intuitive. Very perceptive too. Very smart. Very smart. You know, this is the kind of person who can turn anything into a good thing. I love this. There might be a Taurus. Could be. I will say this. They are very... They really value comfort, okay? They really like to feel safe and secure. They don't rush things. They take their time. They know that good things require patience. And I do think that they're very mature. I'm gonna say that because we have so many major arcanas coming up as their energy. The Hierophant represents comfort, order, routine. It also it's Taurus energy, but it also has some Venus attached to it. So they are very loving. They are very romantic. Usually when I get the Hierophant in like love readings, they're very cuddly. They're very, very cuddly. I will say the High Priestess tells me that they have a very strong intuition. They're very smart. And when I say perceptive, I mean they can pick up on people's energies so much. And so they might be a bit introverted. They might be a bit quiet. But when you get them alone, they have so much to say. They observe. And the Hanged One is here seeing things from a new perspective. They're really good at seeing the bright side of things, you know, even when it seems a little bit bleak. And I really like that. I feel like they have lived a life. I don't want to say they've lived a life of struggle. In fact, I'm getting the message from Spirit that they've had a pretty good childhood. They've had a pretty good childhood, but that's not to say that they haven't had their misfortunes. Of course they have, but they deal with it in a very mature way. You know, I don't think that they have emotional outbursts that often. Anyways, so this is who they are when you meet them. Now, how do you meet? We do have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Emperor card. So here's what I'm feeling. I will say I'm not seeing a specific event. I am feeling the internet's presence though. So you might meet them online. The Queen of Swords is very honest, very straightforward, and communicative. There's an energy of like an intellectual and an emotional connection before there is a physical one, like before you meet in person. And so, you know, it might take a moment before you two even meet. Oh, excuse me. In like physical person. I have the hiccups all of a sudden. I apologize. Now, I was feeling really drawn to this, and I would notice how it was like going out of her crown chakra, and it feels like she has like a web of connections. And so I was like, man, I really feel like this is the internet. And I asked Spirit, you know, in my heart, and they were like, yeah, it is. It's online. And so we have the Queen of Cups as well. The Queen of Cups represents someone who's very healing, very understanding. I feel like they are drawn to the same media as you. So I also feel that they are a similar like cultural background. Maybe not exact, but we have so much in common. I don't think that they're from the same place. I do think that they have a bit of a difference there, but other than that, I feel like they have they see themselves in you, and you see yourself in them, and there's so much comfort and peace in that. I also feel that they really care about tradition. I don't know if that bothers you. It's okay if it does. I don't see it in a negative way because we have the Emperor card, and this is, you know, this is divine masculine, energy, and you know, male or female energy. I don't like to assume what people are attracted to, but this does say that they really they're a leader. You know, I feel like they have a lot of responsibility. And because of that, they really respect their ancestors and their mother and their father. Okay, yeah, that's what I see. I hope that you like that, Hadiyah. Thank you very, very much. Good luck with everything you are endeavoring. And remember that you're never alone and you are loved. Thank you again. See you later. Well, howdy there, puppet. Hey! Thank you so much for trusting me with your reading as your psychic. I hope that it's a positive experience. You said, I wish to know my soulmate. Yeah! Remember that things can change, so if you're like, not my soulmate, just trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. You're psychic too. Okay, let's see what we got. Well, I've been feeling very confident about these, you know. I've guessed, you know, I've had a good handful of people who are in relationships ask me, and I describe their partner to a T. So, kind of cool. All right. This is who they are. Ooh. Very quiet, very introverted, but hey, honest. I will say they might not be, so this is like the energy of when you meet them, by the way. They may not be the most romantic person. And I say that because we have all this sword energy. But I want you to know that you're gonna unlock something inside of them. And I say this because we have the energy of how you meet them. We have the Two of Swords, needing to make a decision, needing to make a compromise. We have the Two of Cups, okay? This means romantic relationships. This means opening up your heart, opening up your soul to somebody. And we have the Ten of Wands, and this is about having a lot on your plate. It's very stressful. And so I'll say this, they're definitely going to approach you, and they may spend a little bit of time thinking about it. You know, what am I gonna say? What are they gonna think? What's, you know, how do I flirt? What the heck? What words do I use, bro? You know, that's the energy, because the King of Swords is someone who's very thoughtful. The King of Swords, who is somebody who's very smart, by the way. Like, he's so smart. Or she, you know, he or she, you know, whatever you're attracted to. I don't like to assume. So I apologize if I use gendered terms, but I'm sure you're picking up what I'm putting down. The King of Swords says to me that they really put in a lot of thought on how they're going to approach you and how they're going to treat your relationship. And it's with honor and it's with honesty. And, you know, this is someone who writes. This is somebody who doesn't flower or fluff their words. They're going to speak from the heart and mean what they say. And I think it's a very nice energy. You know, this is someone you can trust. I'm also, you know, I'm kind of seeing somebody who really likes to, this is so specific. I feel like they really love to drive. Like, they love driving. Like, they may have gone on a lot of road trips. They may have gone, what I'm hearing is that their family lives kind of far, but they're not upset. Like, they're okay with that because they're willing to do, you know, the 7-hour drive to see them. That's what it feels like to me. Yeah, and that's what I'm seeing. Now, in terms of how you meet them, I will say both of you will be single. And I feel that they'll be a little nervous. I really think that it's kind of like a make or break moment. The way that they approach you is with romantic intentions, and they're going to tell you that. But I will say that they won't try and force you into anything. They won't try to, like, say, you know, we have to be a couple right now. You know, you need to change your Facebook to in a relationship right now. No, they're not like that. They're very respectful, and they're willing to take their time. But at the same time, they'll tell you how they feel. And so when I said earlier that they're very particular about how they begin the relationship, it's because they're serious and they don't want to scare you away. And they understand how important energy is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's what I see. Very nervous though. A little nervous, but you know, they're still gonna do it, even if they're nervous. Okay, I like that. Definitely gonna approach you. Let's pull out kind of the energy of when. Cause sometimes spirit will tell me, you know, I'll be like, ooh, it kind of feels like our 20s, kind of feels like our 30s, but I'm not really getting a number. And probably because we're either not supposed to know or it's a little open-ended, you know, because the future isn't set in stone. It could change. Like the variables are so plentiful. It's a little bit hard to say. Let's see. Ooh, the Ten of Wands. King. Ooh, they're coming out again. Yeah, I can tell you the stipulations around it. It'll be at a time where both of you are at the busiest times of your lives. So it could be career. You have career. You have kids. You know, you have both of you have a lot on your plate and have lived life for a while. You know, it feels a little bit older. I'm gonna be honest. Now, it does feel a little bit older because there's all this sword energy, and that means wisdom. It does feel like it'll be quite older. Maybe you don't want to hear that, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to feel that way. Obviously, trust your own intuition, but I'm kind of getting like later in our life. Like in our 40s to 50s. And I know that's so, I know, I don't want to say you're going to be alone, but this specific soulmate, like this energy does not come into your life until later. That's not to say you won't have impactful, beautiful relationships. I believe that everybody has multiple soulmates, but this person does feel like it'll be later in life. And I think that's okay. I'm not upset by that. Okay, thank you so much, Puppet. Good luck with everything you are endeavoring. And remember that you're never alone and you are loved. Thank you. Hi there, Lolly. Thank you very much for getting a reading from me. I hope that it's worth the wait. And I appreciate you trusting me with your energy as your reader. You said, hi, Ron. Can I please do a soulmate reading? Like, I don't know if I can vibe with someone who doesn't like cats. Me neither. My last two partners have been allergic to cats, and I'm just like, well, you're just gonna have to suffer because I have two of them. It is what it is. And they, you know, they were very understanding, very sweet. So they're out there. Let's see what we got. And now I'm allergic to cats. I developed a cat allergy, but I still keep them because I love them. So let's see what we got. I'm gonna put who they are and then how you meet them at the bottom. Okay. Who they are, the Seven of Pentacles, the Princess of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Oh. I'm gonna tell you this. I'll tell you this, Lolly, and it's okay. You know, I keep trying to remind this to people. This happens. I don't get that. You know, I've gotten this a handful of times. I feel that I feel that they were really interested in someone else for a long time when they met you. I don't think that they're in a relationship. I don't think that they were dating anybody, because the Seven of Pentacles is here, and this is waiting. It's almost like they had feelings for somebody who was in another relationship, like a best friend. I don't know what you're attracted to, but imagine like if I don't like to assume the gender, because I feel bad when I get it wrong. I feel bad, you know, it's just energy at the end of the day. And I come up as like male cards all the time. So what I'm trying to explain is it's similar if like a guy has a best friend and his best friend, and he's in love with her, but she's dating somebody else. That's kind of what I feel like he's going through, or she's going through. You know, they're going through when you meet them. But the good news is that you get them out of this. You know, the Two of Pentacles is here. This is going back and forth energy. This is a splitting of energy. You know, notice how they're kind of, how, you know, in traditional tarot is juggling the energy. Like, oh, you know, I have so much on my hands. And the King of Cups is how you meet. This is about being very warm and understanding. The Five of Swords is about talking about, our pain, talking about our trauma, talking about things that have really hurt us. And then the Two of Cups is coming together. And so just know that both of you will turn pain into purity together. It's actually so sweet where they open up to you about these emotions that they have, and the more that they get to know you, the more that they speak to you, the more they realize like, wow, they're so amazing, they're so beautiful, they're so kind, they're so warm, they're so nice to be around, and they understand me. And both of you fall in love pretty quickly, by the way. Pretty quickly. Like, this is not a slow burn. And you might feel a little worried. I'm going to be honest. I do think that you will have some insecurities, just a little, not too many, about the other girl. But just know, I don't think they're going to be around the other person anymore. I say girl, the other person. And the King of Cups says to me that both of you are talking about your emotions and what's happened in your life and what's going on and what to do about it. And it brings you so close together. So that's what I see, Lolly. I don't think they're a bad person. Let's talk a little bit more about like who they are at their core, because that's kind of more so what they're experiencing when you meet them. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that when you meet them, and also, you know, the feelings they're experiencing, it is the Five of Wands. They're a little bit insecure, and that's okay. You know, the Nine of Swords is here too, and this is also like anxiety. But the Star card is here. They have hope. They know that they can be better. They know that they can be more. They might be an Aquarius. Aquarians are always kind of doomed to have these situations, but it's really not as bad as this isn't bad, because I really do think both of you are going to heal each other and see themselves in one another. The Star does say that they are very hopeful. They are very independent. You know, Aquarius energy is also, you know, they value community. They value friendship. They're very social. But they're also so honest as well. And so, you know, I do feel that they are a very inspired person. I also feel that they, you know, they might be a creator. They might be a writer, something like that. And that's part of the reason they have a really big dream and they want to be known for it. But they're a little bit worried that they won't. But I really feel like you'll help them with that dream. Okay, that's what I have, Lolly. I hope that you like, look, and then we have change and transformation at the bottom. That's what we have, Lolly. I hope that you like that. Thank you so much. Good luck with everything you are endeavoring. And remember that you're never alone and you are loved. Thank you. Why, hello there, Amaya. Thank you so much for getting a reading from me last night. I hope that it's worth the wait. I really do appreciate it. Let me turn my music. I just realized how low it is. It's the vibe, bro. Let me turn that shit up. Okay. We were doing soulmate readings last night. Let's see what you wrote. You said, could I get a soulmate reading? Of course! Of course. Good, good, good. Alright, we're gonna draw for who they are at the top and how we meet them at the bottom. And when I say who we are, this is who they are when we meet them, right? This is how we perceive them. This is the energy that they're exuding, the experience they're having. Okay, and I'll let you know, sometimes I pull and I'm like, how is a little bit open-ended. That happens probably half the time, but sometimes I get it, it's pretty specific how. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Ooh, wow! Ooh, lucky you. Lucky you. How warm, how soft, how honest, how kind. What? Oh my goodness, I'm getting chills. Lucky you. Very healed individual, very honest, very romantic. This is somebody who gets you flowers. This is somebody who gets you gifts. This is someone who writes you notes. Like, this is so sweet. We have the Romeo card. This is someone who's giving love. I will say this. I don't know why. I feel like I'm getting the energy of competition. Like, just a little bit. I think that when both of you meet, you might be with like another man, or like I don't know what you're attracted to. You might be with somebody that they feel might you might have feelings for, but that's actually not the case. Like, you don't have feelings for this person at all, but there's something about this kind of illusion of competition that makes them say, I gotta talk to this person now. What I'm finding is you definitely meet them in a social situation. Like, this is not online. This does not feel on the internet to me. This feels like it's in person. And the Knight of Swords is like, I gotta take action. I gotta speak to them now. I gotta speak to her right now. And the Five of Swords is here. And I feel like that might be this kind of competitive energy I'm feeling. I think, that's what it is. You're gonna have a person around you that likes you, and you're gonna be like, no, they're just my friend. No, they don't feel that way about me. They're just my friend. And they're gonna be like, no, they're not. I see the competition now. I'm like, oh, that's the... And so just know they're gonna win. Anyways, you're going to instantaneously like this person. Very, very mannerly. Buys things for you. The sun means happiness, joy, success. And both of you are gonna feel like the sun just like comes out of each other's everything. I was about to say holes. I'm being silly, Amaya. I'm goofy with it, but I see it very clearly. And the Four of Swords is rest, retreat, and renewal. It is so encapsulating. Like, both of you are so entranced with each other that you don't even need to speak. Just being around each other, there's a glow to it. And I do think that we'll get like a date, a first time meeting. Like, the Princess of Cups here. This is like, you're so shiny. What's your name? What's your number? What are you doing later? Are you free? That's the energy here. And I'll say this. It's exciting. There's a lot of like excitement. But I am also kind of getting the energy too that when they talk to you, I really feel like this other guy or this other girl, fit it how it resonates, is going to be like, I don't like them. I don't like them. And they're not going to say anything about your friend. They're actually so confident. They are so confident that, they've got what it takes and that they can love you wholeheartedly and that you like them. They're not even worried about this guy. They're just kind of like, he's there. He'll fade out, fizzle out on his own. I love this energy. That's so funny. Okay, T. How dramatic, but also fun. Oh my god, look at that. You being kind of torn. Should I do this? Should I do that? But you already know what to do. It's okay. I will say this, Amaya. You might feel a little bit sad about the friend. Whether it's a girl or a guy, you know, it could be a girl who likes you. And she's just a little bit too controlling. And she's very combative. And I feel like she may, you know, if it is a woman, you know, when I focus on the energy, it could be... Yeah, when I focus on the energy, it could be a woman. Like, it could be a friend that's a girl. But I'm just seeing the energy, like I'm not really seeing a person. But there's someone who's like very overly protective of you. And not in a good way, by the way, in a very possessive way. Anyways, that's what I see, Amaya. I hope that you like that. Thank you so much. Good luck with everything you are endeavoring. And remember that you're never alone and you are loved. Thank you again. Bye-bye.